All right, guys, so what are the top 5 to 10 quality dividend stocks available to buy right now here in August 2021? What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the Average Joe Investor channel. My name is Joe, and this video is a little bit of a follow-up from our previous video where we talked about the main elements of a quality dividend stock. What are the metrics you need to look for as an average Joe dividend investor? We're gonna re-summarize that criteria and apply it to the monthly dividend stock spreadsheet to identify what are the best opportunities here in August of 2021. You guys know how much I love dividend stocks and cash flow and everything in between. So if you appreciate this video, if you find some value out of it, hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button if you're new, and let's get started. Hey guys, Joe here. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button below the video to make sure you don't miss any of my future videos. And if you do click that subscribe button, make sure to leave me a comment below saying you subscribed, and I promise to personally respond to your comment. All right guys, let's jump right into the content. This is my monthly dividend stock spreadsheet for the month of August of 2021, which I update every single month for my Patreon community. If you're not a member of the Patreon community and you love dividend stocks, then you're missing out because I've got tons of content there. I've got my own portfolio, which I update regularly, and I let you know exactly what I'm buying and selling and what I'm doing the day I'm doing it. I also make available all of my dividend stock spreadsheets in the videos that I use. And of course, the monthly dividend stock spreadsheet, which covers all the dividend stocks that have been paying dividends for at least 5 consecutive years. So if that interests you, if you find some value out of that, hit the link in the description below. All right, so we've got a lot of dividend stocks here, guys. How do we narrow it down from how many are in this? 553 dividend stocks paying dividends for at least 5 consecutive years and that have a yield of at least 1%. If you remember from the previous video, we had some metrics that we used, including the history of the dividend stock, how many years it's been paying consecutive dividends, their dividend yield, their dividend growth rate, and their dividend payout ratio. So let's start by applying some of those metrics. First thing we talked about was dividend streak. Now, this spreadsheet already includes all dividend stocks for at least 5 consecutive years. If you want to only own dividend stocks that have been paying dividends for at least 10 years, you can come in here and just say dividend streak and just go greater than or equal to 10 years. And just by doing that, we narrow the list from 553 all the way down to, what do we got here? 346 dividend stocks. But that's not what we're gonna use here. I'm gonna include all dividend stocks available because that's gonna open up some yield for us as well. So we're not gonna make any adjustments for dividend streak. It's already got 5 years and up. Let's go ahead and apply dividend yield. For me personally, I want a dividend yield that's at least probably 4%, but for the sake of just opening up some opportunities, we'll go 3.5% and higher. We'll sort by number filters greater than or equal to 3.499. All right, so that takes our list from 553 down to only 129 dividend stocks. Next up, we're gonna apply a filter to our dividend growth rates. Now, due to COVID, I have a little bit of leniency for the 1-year dividend growth rate. For companies that still continue to pay a dividend and just paid a smaller increase, I'm going to give them that 1-year grace period, though if I buy one and their dividend growth rate stays really low, I probably will look at getting rid of the dividend stock. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna not filter for the 1 year, but we'll filter for green on the 3-year and the 5-year, meaning that the dividend growth rate has to be at least 4%. So we're gonna go ahead in here and we'll filter by green, and then we'll do it again for the 5-year growth rate, filtering by green. That takes us from 129 different dividend stocks to how many we got here now? Only 90 dividend stocks left that meet our criteria. But we still got to look at our payout ratio based on free cash flow, okay? This leads to stability and safety with the dividend. So we've got payout ratio based on net income and free cash flow. I like to use free cash flow because it's actually measuring cash available that's come into the business that's not being used to pay expenses or to invest back into some required resources in the company. So we're gonna come in here, we're gonna filter by green. That's gonna be between 1% and 75%. Anything that's below 0, that means it's negative free cash flow, that's a warning sign for us. And anything that's higher than 75% is probably a warning for us that it's not quite stable and safe. So come in here, we'll go to filter, and we'll filter by color by green. Now we've got how many dividend stocks available to us? We've got only 53, but we're trying to pick here the top 10. So we're gonna just choose here, we're gonna sort by yield, and we're also gonna get rid of the energy sector. Now, this is just a personal choice for me because I think that the energy sector is still a little bit volatile, and I think that there could be concerns in the future. So it's too soon for me after COVID to say yes to some energy dividend stocks. As a result, I'm gonna go ahead and filter out and say no to energy. All right, here are the top 10 dividend stocks available to us. We'll reveal them one by one. We've got financial sector, materials, utilities, real estate, healthcare, And we've got our growth rates here. We've got a few exceptions for the 1 year, 3 and 5 are green. Dividend yields between 4.5% and up to 7.68%. We've got their average 5-year dividend yield as well. Their dividend streaks here ranging from 5 years up to 12 years. And we've got green on the payout ratio based on free cash flow right over here. First stock here is one that I haven't talked about on the channel, which is Basel Industries, Nevada, LYB. This is a materials company. It says here they're one of the largest plastics, chemicals, and refining companies in the world. Let's look at some of their metrics here. We've got 1-year dividend growth rate of 1.9%, but historically the 3 year is 4.04, 5 year is 6.05%, current dividend yield 4.54%. And that's right along with their historical average, right around where they should be over the past 5 years. It's a dividend tenure, 10 years of consecutive dividend payments and growth. Scrolling over further, we've got free cash flow per share is currently $7.70, annual dividend of $4.52 a share, and its payout ratio based on free cash flow, 59%. One of the things I like to do when I see the free cash flow per share is to see how consistent is that free cash flow per share. I wanna make sure that that stock is not one that has, just 1 year pop of positive free cash flow and then back to negative. So I come in here to Morningstar and you can see that for Basel Industries, Nevada, free cash flow per share is pretty consistent. Up here, 4, 6, 9, 9, 6, 11, 7, 5, 6, compared to their dividends per share right over here. Okay, next stock available here is one that I have in my own portfolio, one that is, I think, loved by dividend investors and for good reason. AbbVie, ticker symbol ABBV, in the healthcare sector of the economy. It's an offshoot from Arbor Laboratories and back in 2013. So it's not technically a dividend aristocrat, though many people consider it to be because it's a breakoff from an actual dividend aristocrat company. We treat it here on this channel as a dividend challenger. That it's a really strong one though. It's gonna become a dividend contender next year because it's got 9 years of consecutive growth, currently yielding 4.56%. What I love about AbbVie is that dividend growth rate here. Even during COVID, up 10%, though historically it's been even higher than that. AbbVie over here, as you can see, has got an annual dividend of $5.20 a share, and their dividend payout ratio based on free cash flow, only 47%. That's why it's a buy here according to my metrics. Next stock we'll look at here is CareTrust REIT Incorporated, CTRE. I actually used to own CareTrust in my portfolio. I switched it out just to have a little bit more diversification with respect to my real estate investment trust. But it's a real estate investment trust in the real estate sector of the economy. Current price per share $23.09. And we've got 1 year, 3 year, and 5 year growth rates, all positive and in the green, 8, 9, and 9%. Currently yielding 4.59% against their 5 year average of 4.42. It's a dividend challenger, paying dividends consecutively for 7 consecutive years. And we can see that their dividend payout ratio is 71%, which is green to us. Even though it's really close to the 75% metric, we go up to 85, 90% for real estate investment trusts, just because, and master limited partnerships, because they are required by law to pay out at least 90% of their taxable income. All right, next one on the list here is another one in my portfolio right now, which is Manulife Financial Corporation, MFC. It's in the financial sector of the economy. You actually might have Manulife on your pay stub if you work for a larger employer. They do a lot of group insurance plans, investments, and insurance. You might know it more by its United States company doing business as, which is John Hancock. Manulife has really strong growth rates here at 11.59%, 9%, 10%, yielding currently 4.62% against a historical 5 year average of 4.23. It's a dividend challenger with 8 consecutive years of dividend payments, and it's got a dividend payout ratio based on free cash flow of only 9%, which is amazing. That tells me it's safe and it's got lots of room to grow. Next up on the list here is another one we haven't talked about, People's Bancorp Incorporated, PEBO. The 1 year growth rate is 2.94%. The 3 and 5 year growth rates are 12 and 18%, currently yielding 4.71% against a historical average of 3.96%. And it's a dividend challenger with 6 years of consecutive growth and a dividend payout ratio based on free cash flow, coming over here, of 31%. For those of you not familiar with People's Bank, it's a community bank located primarily in the states of Ohio, Kentucky, and West Virginia. All right, next up on the list here is MGM Growth Properties, LLC. MGP is the ticker symbol. It's a real estate investment trust. It's got positive growth rates for the 1, 3, and 5 years, currently yielding 5.12% against the 5 year historical average of yield of 5.83. Just broke through on the list here. It's been raising dividends consecutively for 5 consecutive years. Dividend challenger, and it's got that payout ratio based on free cash flow right here, 42%. Next up on the list here that we're gonna look at is Star Group Unit LP. SGU is the ticker symbol. It's another stock in my dividend portfolio. It's in the utility sector of the economy. It's got the positive and very consistent and stable growth rates here of 6.4, 6.4, 6.8%. Currently yielding 5.3% against a historical average of 4.77%. 12-year dividend streak, or that makes it a contender. That dividend payout ratio based on free cash flow, 39%. For those who are not familiar with Star Group Unit, it is a full-service energy provider, and it specializes in the sale of home heating and air conditioning products and services to residential and commercial customers. Next up on the list here, getting to the top three. Number 3 is Northwest Bancshares Incorporated, another company in my own dividend stock portfolio, ticker symbol NWBI. It's in the financial sector of the economy. It's got really good, strong dividend growth rates, 4% during COVID, then a 3 and 5 year of 5.27 and 5.83%, which exceeds the long-term inflation rate. We've got a dividend yield currently of 6.11% against a historical average of 4.93%. It's a dividend contender, 12 consecutive years of dividend growth. And you can see here that dividend payout ratio based on free cash flow, 66%, which is stable. All right, getting to number 2 on the list here. What do we got? Another one in my portfolio, Westlake Chemical Partners LP. WLKP. This is a master limited partnership, which is like a real estate investment trust in that it's required by law to distribute 90% of its taxable income. This allows it not to pay a corporate income tax, which allows it to pay a higher yield. Additionally, with a master limited partnership, you should be aware that you're going to be getting a Schedule K1 instead of a 1099 DIV, and your dividends being received are not dividends, they're known as distributions. These have tax consequences, which are good for most people. Some people might be a little bit of a headache. It essentially means that it's a return of capital for tax purposes, and you pay the tax when you actually end up selling the stock as a capital gain. So it's got a 1-year percentage growth in the 1 year, but the 3 and 5 year are 7 and 9%. I'll be watching this one to make sure that its dividend growth rate pops up again on the next annual year to make sure it doesn't stay low. The dividend yield currently 6.95% against a historical average 5 years, 7.11%. Consecutive years of dividend growth is 6 years. It's a dividend challenger, and its payout ratio only 17%, which is great. All right, lastly here, number 1 on the list is Arbor Realty Trust Incorporated, ticker symbol ABR. It's in the financial sector of the economy. Current price per share, $18.22 per share. 1, 3, and 5 year growth rates are 9, 16, and 16, which is great. It's currently yielding 7.68%, and it's got a dividend streak of 9 consecutive years, which makes it a dividend challenger. You can also see that Arbor Realty Trust has a payout ratio based on free cash flow of only 69%. Now that is getting kind of close to our 75% cap, but it is a real estate investment trust. All right, again, here were just 10 dividend stocks here that meet the dividend stock criteria that makes up quality dividend stocks. It's not a perfect way to pick stocks. Doesn't mean that these 10 are perfect for your portfolio, because every dividend stock portfolio and every dividend investor has different goals and objectives. I showed you which ones were actually in my own portfolio because I practice what I preach. Make sure to leave your 2 cents in the comments below. Let me know what you thought about these companies, which ones you like on this, which ones you own in your own portfolio, which ones you think I should have included that just didn't meet the metrics. I'd love to hear your feedback. Leave your 2 cents in the comments below. In future videos, we're gonna also look at some specific matchups. I know that one, based on some previous feedback, was looking at Lowe's versus Home Depot. There's other matchups I'm more than happy to take a look at if you guys wanna see them. We've got some other great content coming as well, so make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't done it. That's all I got for you guys in this video. Have a great rest of your day, and please continue to stay healthy, both physically and financially. Have a good one.